Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the analysis of YOLENO TV. I hope you well from wherever you're watching this channel. I'd like to start this session by appreciating you so much for making this channel grow. If you wish to support us, just subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Exactly, that is the facial expression of all UDA MPs who are now telling William Ruto to be wary of the high cost of living because it is making them unpopular on the ground. I believe you are aware that yesterday William Ruto convened a meeting at State House, and in that meeting, from his X handle, he said that close to 200 MPs came or were in attendance in that meeting. And of course, by now, for those people who normally go through newspaper headlines, those people who like reading newspapers, you must have stumbled upon an article that is portraying the UDA MPs as being people who are crying crocodile tears. And that's why Pauline Njoroge has said in her tweet that I will ask again, when they passed the finance bill 2023, what did they imagine was going to happen? Why are they complaining now over a situation they created? And Pauline Njoroge shared People's Daily newspaper, one where MPs passed the fuel tax back then. They unanimously passed the fuel tax, taxation. And then there's another newspaper that says Ruto MPs cry out over high prices. And to those people who normally go through Star newspaper, there is also an article that is saying who the MPs confront Ruto over high cost of living. The People's Daily newspaper, the Star newspaper, I'm sorry, I didn't get to access the Standard and the Daily Nation, but the Star newspaper and the People's Daily newspaper has already painted a picture of UDA MPs who are now looking at or staring at the reality right now that hii mambo ya high cost of living itaturamba. And this is because of what was said at the bipartisan talk. I think this is just a reaction because they have realized that they were seriously exposed in that meeting, and as a result of that exposure in the of what happened there, whereby Treasury CS Njuguna Ndung'u was there, and CS also Chirchir was there, and the PS Hinga was there. If you looked at their responses to the questions which were being channeled to them, you would picture a situation where those CSS and the permanent secretary were confused. The EPRA boss was there, seated at the back, with nothing to say, but those leaders were confused. I think this could inform the reason why now UDA MPs had to confront William Ruto, tell him that, look here, we are losing ground. Yeah? And as a result of this, we might not be able to be re-elected. I think that's what they are staring. And if you looked at the pictures which are circulating, and I have some of those pictures, I've sampled them, and they're popping on the screen. Just check the way, you can even check there, the first photo or the first picture there of LateNight Toto seated there. And you can check the mood. The mood is of one person who is not sure about tomorrow politically. Just check the mood of those other subsequent pictures I've shared, and they tell it all. They depict a scenario where those UDA MPs are maintaining that hii kitu itaturamba ama hii kitu imeturamba. How are they going to convince their constituents? That is what is affecting these leaders. I don't know what intention or the intention William Ruto had with the MPs there. I don't know, it was just for him to pass a message, or it was for him to also capture feedback on the ground. Because, to be honest, and I think I remember Citizen ran a certain video, or shared a certain video of how the ground, or of how William Ruto is losing the ground, slowly losing the ground. And that was actually when he was in Mombasa, we saw some bizarre footages where people were reminding him about the high cost of living. He could dish out a promise, but they kept reminding him of the high cost of living. So that means they were not ready to listen to his promises. And this is going to replicate in other regions. They will basically, because he's the president, now they will not stone him. They will not do any of that thing. They have to respect the presidency. That is one thing that they must respect. But they will air out their grievances. And they did that during that tour of the Mombasa County. Of course, in Mount Kenya, sahi, the place is very, very volatile. That's the right word I can use. The place is volatile. And we can say the place is hostile. The leaders in Mount Kenya are suffering politically. And that informs what they were saying there. They were telling William Ruto to slow down on taxation. But if you go by the responses which William Ruto gave them, it's that he has a plan. They should just trust the process. So leaders are saying, how can we trust the process whereas we are losing political ground? I think they are slowly realizing that despite the fact that they support UDA, there is no guarantee that wakikosa kupata elective seat watachaguliwa kwa cabinet ama CS ama position gani. Hakuna hiyo guarantee, because if you look at the former Bahati member of parliament, Kimani Ngunjiri, what is he doing? Kimani Ngunjiri recently said, mimi sina kazi, I am loitering in the streets. He said so. And that word carried a lot of meaning. I think this is one of the things that could have downed on this UDA member of parliament, that look here, if we fail to secure our elective seats, and right now we are not popular on the ground, then what are the chances that we might get appointments? Chances are zero. Because if you go back to Bahati member of parliament, who used to be a fierce critic of Uhuru Kenyatta and one of the best supporters of William Ruto, but he's saying that he is loitering in the streets, ana kazi. I mean, this is not something that you can just ignore. That useme ati sasa hawa watu wa UDA they don't care whether Kenyans cry or they don't cry. They don't care. For a party whose foundation was formed based on populist ideas, to be facing this kind of reality, that can only mean that all is not going to be well for the regime. I mean, I'm telling you that for free. I don't wish them a bad ending. I wish them to have a happy ending. But going by the remarks which were there, and those are not things that William Ruto should ignore. I think this is coming in the wake of the realization that even the East African countries, some of those East African countries, wametenga Kenya. You know? Right now we are seeing Uganda. We did an analysis yesterday. Uganda wametoka, wako wanawaka na Tanzania. Chances are that Rwanda, Burundi, Sudan, Somalia will opt to work with Tanzania and Uganda at the expense of Kenyans. I mean, those are the chances we are seeing here. So I think this is why now these leaders are saying, William Ruto tafadhali, tuhurumie, watu wanaumia. And Pauline Njoroge reminds them that those are crocodile tears. What were you thinking when you failed to correct the issue of the Finance Act? What were you expecting? Now they are saying that Kimoaramba, but it's a case of too little, too late. The damage has already been done. Of course, I am not saying that this issue of Finance Act is off the hook. Of course, the Justice Majanja led team is still working on it. There is a decision is supposed to be given. I think this towards the end of this month or early next month. But there's a decision to be made regarding that high cost of living that has been brought about by the Finance Act. So the courts will still make a determination on this. So I don't know if the reaction from the MPs to William Ruto will affect the decision, so that the judges will see, kumbe hii kitu hata wao wenyewe walipitisha na wanaona kwamba haifai. Because in a nutshell, what these people are telling William Ruto is that we made a mistake to pass that finance bill without correcting it. Now we are seeing Kenyans wanaumia, and as a result we are losing ground. You know, a politician always wants to have a crowd that is well charged.
Mtatoa makofi zenu tuombe jameni. Si tuombe Mungu jameni atupatie nafasi ya kwenda mbele.
A crowd that chants maybe songs that are in favor of them. That is a politician. So the mere fact that when they go to rallies, they get heckled. Like for the case of Bomet County. The day Osoro went to Bomet County and was making his speech, alafu there was a lot of heckling there. And Bomet County, Osoro had to promise those people that he would give them money, that he can pay all of them to listen to him. I mean, that is one of the indications that all is not well. And what the governor of Bomet County also said, alisema kwamba hii kitu yeye atajitoa kwa sababu amefaitia watu wake, lakini looks like the government is not listening. So alisema atajitoa. So all these things, if you bring them together, they all point to the reality that UDA members wameambia William Ruto kwa ile forum pale, hii kitu imeturamba. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you make of what William Ruto was told and the response he gave his members of parliament? What do you make of that? Now, to those people who have not subscribed to our channel, I'd like to kindly request you to subscribe to this channel and give this video a like. And to those who have supported us by either subscribing or sharing or liking our videos, I want to say here that I'm forever grateful for that support, because without that support, this channel cannot grow. So until we catch up again, please stay safe and stay blessed.